Fire Emblem Engage solo runs have gotten a little stale lately, haven't they? In every case, we just see a void stacking with Lyn Engage with a Micaiah dagger to beat the map in 100 turns. But what if I told you there was a better way to solo? A way more fun way to solo. And the secret to it? The most slept on unit in Engage.
I don't want to. Allow me to dazzle. I have a gift for you. Say night night.
Hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. Molten AMF here. And right now, all of my normal viewers are thinking, Molten, what the fuck is this? I wanted sexy robots. This is just chess with VTubers. But you see, today I've decided to mix it up a little bit. In honor of Fire Emblem Engage's 3rd anniversary, I wanted to make a video about it. But not just any video. I wanted to make a tribute to my favourite character, Citrinne. Engage's glass cannon mage girl, quite possibly my favourite Fire Emblem archetype. I fell in love with this character the instant I saw blonde hair, red eyes, and voiced by Brittany Karbowski. She is just so pink! Unfortunately, Citrinne is a very min-max unit. Best magic, one of the best res stats, but abysmal strength, speed, HP, and defense. She is genuinely at risk of getting one-shot by most enemies. But wouldn't it be funny if I beat the entire game on the hardest difficulty with her? So with my determination, only one time using dodge tank strategy, and the power of real world money, I ask, can you beat Fire Emblem Engage with only Citrinne? Now, to establish the rules, Citrinne doesn't appear until Chapter 7, so obviously the challenge doesn't start until then. Once then, I can only use Citrinne for combat. I'm not going to be uber strict and prevent Alear from countering because I need avoid weapons, but you'll see she doesn't really do anything of importance. DLC is allowed, mostly because I think it's more fun that way, and yeah, that's about it. The only goal before Citrinne arrives is getting Alear to level 10 so she can access advanced classes. So I just feed her some kills, use Master of Curious to get some extra XP, and well, look at that, she's level 11. Very good. After an hour and a half of the worst gameplay imaginable, how can you even play this? There's no Citrinne! The challenge can finally begin. We enter Chapter 7, and upon starting the map, Citrinne joins the team. This mission is looking to be one of, if not the hardest mission in this challenge. Citrinne has no emblem, only her base stats, no promotion, and we cannot load her up on stat boosters before we start. To begin, I trade Citrinne a Speedwing and a Micaiah Engraved Fire Tome. Micaiah's Engraved grants 40 points of Avoid, 20 crit Avoid, and -1 weight for the cost of 3 might. The might cost is not ideal, but a necessary sacrifice. Citrinne only has a mere 3 base defense and 24 base HP, with a mediocre 10 speed to boot. Citrinne gets 2-shot by basically every enemy on this map, and risks doubles from the Sword Flyer and the boss's Gold Mary and Hortensia. As much as it pains me to play this challenge like many others, we unfortunately don't have a choice for this chapter. Citrinne uses a Speedwing and I try to figure out the strategy. I give it a shot many times, but often either Citrinne dies or Alear dies. And while not mandatory, I would like to keep Arlcris and Lapis alive because that's just what Citrinne would want. The problem is I need to load Citrinne with stat boosters so she can live, but also keep Alear safe. I try using all the fodder characters I don't care about as fodder, but that doesn't really work either. Because they aren't countering, we get overwhelmed with enemy quantity until Alear or Citrinne dies. After that, I try going all in. Alear comes into the map with Citrinne's Tome and the 3 most important stat boosters: the Speedwing, the HP up Angelic Robe, and the magic increasing Spirit Dust. Alear then grabs staves from the convoy. With this, Citrinne is able to get onto the protection tile, turn 2, and then after that she starts camping. The combined avoid for the Tome and the tile gives Citrinne 70 extra avoid, allowing her to consistently dodge tank. And the 10 HP heals usually means she's okay at the enemy phase as well. While Citrinne is slowly chipping away at the enemies, Arlcris, Lapis, and Alear are face tanking everything else. Thankfully, the combination of Voluntaries and Micaiah Alear heal staves managed to keep alive long enough for Citrinne to clean up the scrubs attacking here as well. With that first wave of enemies done, we get a brief breather where we proceed to order Citrinne to gobble up every single stat booster we have, further increasing HP, defense, res, dex, and move. We then aggro the next lot of enemies, same strat as before. Retreat to the heal tile, 2 enemies do separate and we have to bunker down with the other units again, but they survive and Citrinne mops them up easy. We are now at the final stage of the mission. we have to deal with the boss Hortensia, who is not only fast, but is also very magically resistant, lowering Citrinne's damage noticeably. I start by placing Citrinne on the protection tile. Rosado wanted the Fly's attack, but thankfully they both miss, and then Hortensia uses Emblem Lucina's Engage attack, as one, which lets surrounding units participate in a chain attack. Thankfully, Citrinne lives, but upon the start of the next turn, I notice a major problem. Hortensia can double us. Despite gaining 3 levels this chapter, Citrinne didn't level any speed off her 30% growth. And 2 times 12 is a third of Citrinne's health. The hit rate is only 32, but considering I need to do 20 combats to kill Hortensia, those aren't good odds. I go along and see how it goes, and then I realize Gold Mary is also doubling. And despite only having a 10% chance to hit, she lands one of her 2 attacks, letting Hortensia land the 32% to kill her afterwards. Thankfully, I remember the speed tonic I bought earlier, so upon rewinding back, I use it, and now thankfully Citrinne does not get doubled anymore. And after a few chain attack dodges, Citrinne clears everybody else, and it's just a 1v1 for Hortensia. Nothing terribly exciting, I just press attack a bunch of times until Hortensia goes down.
Oh, I lost. No fair. Well.
And with that, Chapter 7 is beaten with only Citrinne in 50 turns. Upon returning to base, I waste no time promoting Citrinne to Sage, giving her an impressive 22 magic, as well as forging a 4 on tome, the backbone of this challenge. With this in hand, she is no longer Citrinne, she is Masaka Mikoto. We let loose this monster onto some paralogs. I do Arnis first, and holy guacamole, Citrinne is already ridiculous. With a 4 on tome, she does 48 magic damage. She is already one-shotting every enemy on the map. I do use the Fire Tome a bit on the defensive to dodge, but she is still killing everything remarkably well. Unfortunately, the boss does pose a minor risk of killing Citrinne, so I play it safe and use the Fire Tome, which works until too many of her backup units join the party and I get chain attacked to death. But I simply turn back a turn, reposition, and then the map is won soon after. Jean's Paralog is next, in which I let the innocent villagers die, including the young boy who you can recruit. But, you know, I let him die so we can get a stat booster. Sorry Jean, I do like you, but +2 strength on my mage is potentially useful, while you are guaranteed useless in this challenge. We begin Chapter 8 and I deploy a few meat shields just to make sure the gate isn't captured before we beat the boss. That is before I realize one of the more important enemies on the map, Kagetsu, has 20 speed, doubling Citrinne even with +2 speed. So now I need to reset for a meal to get a +3 speed buff. I spent 5 minutes doing this until Clan managed to hook up an S-rank fish meal, which is the greatest contribution he has ever given me or will ever give me. Sorry, knockoff Deku. Before realizing Citrinne could just straight up one-shot Kagetsu with magic to spare with a Warp Ragnarok. Well, I could have wasted more time, I guess. First attempt, Citrinne fails a few dodges, but the second attempt she dodges easily and clears up the boss Ivy.
I can't follow you.
Winning the chapter in 3 turns. Upon beating Chapter 8, I decide to access a vital area for the completion of this challenge, the Divine Paradox. But to access, we must first obtain the Victorian Child.
Let us commence forth. British?
I reclass Aaliyah to Griffin Knight for mobility and saves, and have Citrinne equip Headlong Rush for freeze immunity, just to make this map a little more convenient. We are going to take Tiki's Paralog slow. I do not want to hassle with the reinforcements, so I bunker down the protection tile and wait out all of them. And with that done, Citrinne slowly progresses forward. I do get a little over-aggressive at one point and have to retreat back to the protection tile, but again, overall no problem. We now only have to open the switches to Tiki's room. The Cavaliers fall easily, but the Dragon actually has some serious offense, so we retreat back to a tile using a reward. Unfortunately, I forget that Tiki has a smash weapon, a weapon type that can move you, so I am knocked off the protection tile and the Dragon occupies it, forcing me to retreat. At this moment, however, I learned something completely new. Tiki can restore revival stones! This is not good at all. I have literally never had this problem because the ice dragons aren't that difficult to kill, but Citrinne requires 3 attacks. And when doing this, the dragon hits a 20% back-to-back, and that's another rewind gone. I figure I just need to attack Tiki, otherwise this will never end. Thankfully, 2 fire attacks and a Warp Ragnarok raise a health bar. I then tank 1 more enemy phase to chip Tiki again, and then we can finish her off with a mystical class boosted 4 on Echo to beat this map in 99 turns. With Tiki obtained, we can now access the other Divine Paralogs. These chapters are difficult but give you extremely powerful emblem bracelets. The most vital component that we will be obtaining first is Veronica. Before so, we equip Citrinne with Vantage from Emblem Leaf and throw her to town. Citrinne spends one enemy phase and is now at low HP, but this is exactly where she wants to be. Citrinne now always attacks first, and with her stupid high magic and the high might of Thoron, she instantly deletes every enemy that approaches her. But Veronica herself is separated from the other enemies. You are supposed to activate the 2 switches on each side of the map, so I could play the map properly. Or I could use the warp attack! Citrinne dies once due to bad positioning, once to unlucky low percent, and once more to me not reading the very notable chain guard like a goddamn moron. And then I just take out the scrubs and then Veronica falls to the railgun.
So strong.
Beating this chapter in only 12 turns. With Emblem Veronica obtained, we head into the next paralog, Emblem Sorin, and we are immediately seeing results. Veronica is granting Citrinne enough magic to straight up one-shot every enemy here. Citrinne's high magic, Thoron's high might, and Veronica stacking extra damage with Appraisal lets Citrinne kill easily. And with Vantage, Citrinne always attacks first at free range. Unfortunately, Emblem Sorin actually has some methods to overcome this. Sorin can attack at range with bolting, and Flare can hit through Citrinne's high res. And Engage attacks, as always, hit through skills. Thankfully, Emblem Veronica can also summon extra fodder, and this Swordfly was able to get a bit of work done during the tanking. And while Sorin could damage Citrinne, he went for a low damage bolting to avoid a counterattack, letting us finish him in 9 turns.
That was unimaginable.
Emblem Sorin is likely not going to be used for a while, but will definitely be important later. 2 essential paralogs are done, but I figured taking the others out while the enemies don't insta-kill Alear is a good idea. Hector's was easy. Citrinne got into Vantage range and literally no enemy could touch her before she destroyed everything. Like, holy shit, she does 70 damage to Hector. Like, haha, nice skills, dipshit. Check this one out.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Camilla's paralog is usually long and very annoying, so I use a rewarp stuff to get to the vantage point quickly, summoning a fodder unit to lure Camilla in, and then double whammying a player and enemy phase to win in 6 turns. Chrome's paralog is looking to be a pain. Massive enemy reinforcements and a large map to drag a single unit around. I start by hiding Alear in the corner, but many 2-range enemies overwhelm her. Citrinne? Now she's fine, she's just cleaning house. Next attempt I take it slower, keeping Alear and Citrinne together to help keep Alear safe. Doing so, we manage to get past way easier, breaking the barrier. I try baiting out Crom, but he can't do damage at 2 range because of Citrinne's high res. But thankfully, his AI still prioritizes a 0 damage Gig 11 sword, so we can easily tank that. We kill Rob in the next turn, and then Crom commits Toast to Bath against the Railgun to win us the chapter in 18 turns. With the DLC paralogs done, we now return to the main story, which will now be ridiculously easy with the extra level Citrinne has gained. I decide to breeze through the mission quickly, but only after aggroing the boss that I realize there's an essential +2 magic booster on the enemy north side, so I quickly rush up there. Unfortunately, because the boss Ivy can't damage Citrinne, she flies past, and while I try, she manages to reach Jade and kill her. Thankfully, Jade is of little worth in a normal playthrough, so she's extra worthless here. But with her unnecessary sacrifice, we can still kill Ivy the next turn to beat Chapter 9 in 10 turns.
Father.
After a little prep, we enter Chapter 10, and excluding a single death because I forgot to use a HP tonic, Citrinne easily cleans the first half. And being friended by Hortensia, not at all. And for the second half, I avoid Hyacinth's Astral Storm and then heal Citrinne a little in order to survive the next turn. And then Hyacinth ends himself and Citrinne to beat Chapter 11 in 13 turns. For Chapter 11, I try to see how quickly I could just beat it with Emblem Camilla, just letting me just fly down to the leave point now, to which I can easily leave in 5 turns. Thinking back, it probably would have been fun to see how Citrinne fared against the Hounds in this mission, but alas. Chapter 12 involves a lot of desert terrain and is easier the faster you beat it. Unfortunately, having only 1 combat unit makes this a little harder. Though, when I roll the Veronica Gacha, I get V4 Rusty and he helps me cleaning a little. But while Citrinne is destroying everything else, Alear and the other 3 units we get on the map are fighting for their life, trying to just survive the next phase. But thankfully they survive until Citrinne clears everything else up and we beat the Chapter 13 in 16 turns. Chapter 13 is a massive map, so I thought it was going to take a while, but then I had a realization. Citrinne had hit 6,000 SP because of the kills she got with SP conversion, so I equipped Reprisal Plus to the skill slot and equipped Emblem Camilla to give Fly an extra move. You know, I don't think I've ever used Emblem Camilla in a playthrough yet. Let me peek the fit. Wow.
Poor thing.
Oh.
Oh my god. I get it.
Revolving! Draw Citrinne and Camilla Engage, and my life is yours! Citrinne proceeds to easily move through the map by crossing over the water, and she reaches the boss area before long, and can easily bonk the Blues Brothers on the counterattack, before finishing them off at the same time with Camilla's Dark Inferno to finish the map in 9 turns. We start chapter 14 by killing the thief on the right side, as that side has essential items in the chest we can't lose, and by utilising Camilla's flight we can position Citrinne to maximise kills on the enemy phase, as once she's in vantage range she has 0 threat of death. As the enemies start building up, I managed to hit a 6-man Dark Inferno, which was absolutely not necessary, but really cool to see. We clear out every enemy out of the boss arena, and then move to take out Hortensia and the Hounds. Unfortunately, I completely forget Hortensia has a Fracture Staff, which can break Citrinne's 4-on tome out of her hands, meaning no vantage in a swift death.
Oh my, I'm in trouble.
I reposition and pass enough turns, but still die after getting hit next turn. So I decide to fall back, luring out the Hounds. Finally, Hortensia starts targeting Aaliyah in the treasure room as she is a valid target in range, keeping Citrinne completely safe. Also hilariously, Zephyr and Mania can't damage Citrinne because they have magic weapons in this mission, so I body block them to stop them from reaching Aaliyah. And with the Fracture Staff usage's burn, Hortensia eliminates herself and Citrinne to end chapter 14 in 33 turns.
Why does nothing go my way?
Chapter 15 looked to be easy, just let every fodder enemy die on Citrinne, and it was going well until the Berserkers appeared. These guys are usually an anti-turtle measure to encourage the player to move forward, but I literally have a god Citrinne here, there's no way they can stand to it. Oh. These Berserkers have a capped res stat of 18 and a HP of 66. Citrinne needs to hit 84 attacks to one-shot, which unfortunately she is 8 short of. These Berserkers also have a 50% hit rate on her with L-Fire, so I really don't want to risk that either. Thankfully, I equipped Aaliyah with Veronica so she can give Citrinne extra actions when engaged. Combining that with Seedol's dancing, we managed to take him out. And with confidence, I move on to the next area and use Camilla's terrain-altering Dragon Vein to eliminate the defense up terrain. Before realizing this activates Camilla's skill Groundswell, which heals Citrinne for 10 HP, taking her out of vantage range. But after just, not doing that, Citrinne easily sweeps house, and we finish chapter 15 in 31 turns. Completing chapter 15 unlocks a Corrin emblem to use, and this is where I execute my strategy to ensure that Aaliyah can stay alive even when very underleveled. By stacking Avoid from Marth's skills, Bow Avoid from Lucina, and Corrin's Covert Terrain bonus, Aaliyah can stack 95 extra Avoid onto Aaliyah's already high Avoid and decent speed, letting her reach stupid high Avoid numbers like 178. And if you don't know, that means the enemy needs to have 179 hits to have a 1% chance to hit her. And as we get higher Lucina and Marth bond, we are able to add an extra 25 Avoid. I then decide to do Lucina's Paralog to unlock the extra Avoid for Aaliyah. And even with the high stat enemies, they all fall before Citrinne's mind. Lucina herself is a concern because she has an engage attack, which again negates skills and counterattacks, but Lucina has a bow, so this is easily avoided by just staying at the edge of her effective range, causing her to use it every time. So she breaks her revival stones on the enemy phase, and I finish her off with a Dark Inferno to get her and 3 other units to finish the Paralog in 5 turns. Moving on to chapter 16, I initially wanted to blitz this mission, before realizing that I have a flying unit that can't get fog evasion bonuses, so I have to play defensive. But holy man, this chapter is stupid with the reinforcements. I spend quite a while bunkered down just trying to take everything out. Even with Citrinne literally insta-killing everything, the enemies are just slow to fall. But we manage it in time, and with almost all of the enemy force down, Citrinne flies up to the bosses and easily kills Marnie. But Marvia is actually equipped with a Silent Staff, a staff that prevents magic use. And Marvia manages to hit the coin flip chance a few times in a row, meaning I have to back up a little. But soon he runs out, and I can just easily Railgun and Dark Inferno him to death to finish chapter 16 in 24 turns.
I withdraw for now.
Up next is one of the hardest chapters of this challenge, chapter 17. This mission is wildly regarded as Engage's best mission, and it features a difficult kill boss map with 6 bosses, all using emblem weapons. And considering that Engage attacks are one of the biggest counters to Citrinne, this map is not looking to be easy. For this mission, I equip a rank 20 emblem Sorin for reasons you'll see very soon. We take care of the initial enemies and also manage to get Citrinne to exactly 1 HP to maximize reprisal damage. Chris comes in but is easily killed. Thankfully the other bosses wait for you to get into range, so Citrinne can take a moment to clear fodder before moving on to the next boss, Marnie. Now Marnie vs Citrinne is normally a literally hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby matchup, so there's no need to be concerned. Aaliyah. We are so fucked. Okay, I'm joking. Usually Citrinne is the best unit to deal with Marnie because of her high magic and Marnie's shit speed means she can easily take her health down. But Marnie here has Emblem Roy's skill Holdout, meaning it is impossible to kill her in one combat. Normally you just bring in anybody else who can deal 1 damage, but with no other units this skill means we cannot enemy phase her. This will be run ending for the normal strat, but this is where we have Emblem Soren. Soren lets Citrinne heal half of all damage she does when engaged with Soren, as well as boosting damage by adding the enemy's res to her damage. Combining this healing with the Reprisal plus Vantage combo, that means, unless the enemy hits a very specific damage threshold, Citrinne can effectively become unkillable. And with tonics, Citrinne has 48 HP and 15 defense, a respectable defensive performance for a unit with self-healing. With this, Marnie falls, and I now lure in the rest of the enemies. This phase of the map is the hardest as we have to deal with a lot of enemy units and 3 bosses at the same time. Zephyr, however, does tend to rush forward with his Sigurd Engage, granting extra movement, so she reaches us first. Thankfully though, Zephyr has the skill Soul Blade, which averages enemy defense and res and uses that to calculate damage. This is usually not great for most units, as your defensive units are usually physical walls with lower res, so this skill seriously reduces defense. However, Citrinne is actually really bulky on the res side by whopping 44. Averaging that results in her taking little damage from Zephyr's attacks, making her of little concern even if she doubles. Hyacinth, however, is a massive problem. His fist weapon attacks twice in a row, meaning that surviving hits advantage and active is very difficult. On that same turn, Citrinne's engage timer runs out, meaning no healing. Thankfully an engage pool is nearby, so I can refill the engage again next turn. But I need to survive that turn. Thankfully, Citrinne tanks 2 Master Lance attacks from Hyacinth and easily shrugs off Zephyr to eliminate her on the enemy phase. One may be down, but now Vale has reached us, and with Marth equipped she can deliver a devastating engage attack. Thankfully we live it on 3 HP, 1 less defense and we would have died. And placed down to such low HP, we vantage again Hyacinth attacks, and 67 bursts him with the railgun to finish him off. And, Marvia attacks? Oh yeah, I completely forgot he's here. He's usually a threat, but he only has magic weapons in this map, so we can't even touch Citrinne here. But Vale actually has a personal skill that grants +1 true attack to adjacent allies, meaning Marvia can deal a whole 2 damage. Lamau? The next turn Marvia attacks for a little damage again, and Vale gives her a final swing before falling. Though I will admit that 79 hit rate on our end was a little shaky than I would have liked. And to finish off, Citrinne hits a 12% critical to eviscerate Marvia for a little under 2.85 times his health bar, to finish chapter 17 in 22 turns. Pretty decent in my opinion. I do a quick T-Tour to beat Leaf's Paralog because I want the Speedwing and his upgraded Bond. I move Citrinne to the center to avoid the Ballista, which is one of Citrinne's counters. After nabbing the Speedwing, I use the extra movement from Camilla Engage and the extra range of Dark Inferno to hit the top Ballista, and by staying on the water, Leaf can't attack at 1 range and uses Engage attack, allowing us to easily Vantage one-shot him to death to finish the Paralog in 9 turns. With Leaf at max Vond, I can now use Vantage at higher HP. Chapter 18 is a bit of a breather. I send Citrinne left to grab the Speedwing. I'd make a little oopsie realizing that only Thoron can one-shot, not the Bold Axe. Unfortunately, Lyndon will not be joining the party this playthrough because I completely forget about him before Aaliyah gets trapped by mages. But with a little bit of HP manipulation, Citrinne easily gets enough HP to one-shot the boss twice to beat Chapter 18 in 10 turns. Next up is Chapter 19, and the coughing baby appears again. And Marvia actually has a physical weapon this time that can damage us. As such, Soren comes out again. Not about his sexuality though, this man is the most homophobic homophobe to ever exist. I then use a miasma tile to lower Citrinne's defense to get her to low HP quickly. Zephyr dies quickly because I could not be bothered to reclass a Brodian as my fine class and rescue her. I use Aaliyah to clear miasma terrain as the +20 res is enough for some enemies to survive the railgun. Citrinne then approaches Marvia, which causes him to rescue Marnie. Holy shit, this game is so cool. Citrinne survives Marnie's blazing line and counters the next turn. Marvia comes in with his Brave Lance, but thankfully cannot kill in 2 hits. It was looking solid. Marnie gets Cataclysm to the last health bar, and Marvia dies to the railgun. And then Marnie uses Blazing Line 2 turns in a row. I'ma keep it real, folks. Marnie has never been alive for more than 1 turn before. Didn't even know this was possible. And she had just enough attack to kill. I run a test and yep, even with 2 health bars, Marnie does it, so I have to rewind and retreat. I get to Marnie's effective range so she attacks with the Binding Blade. I managed to just barely live on 1 HP because holy, Roy really does provide some extra damage. But after using the terrain to attack her at 3 range so that she then attacks at 2 range again, letting Citrinne vantage her, finishing chapter 19 in 9 turns. For chapter 20, we enter Griss's Funhouse. It is pitch black and Griss will spam Warp Ragnarok. Attack and then retreating. That is, until you find him first. I do this turn 1 to avoid the fuckery, and then I realize something. Griss is also a sage like Citrinne. His res is high, Citrinne would one-shot with lower HP, but it's turn 1 and we had no time for setup. This is until I remember something. Emblem Camilla has another weapon, Camilla's Axe, which is the last unlocked weapon and is fairly strong. 19 might for 11 weight and grants plus 10 res, but it also has an additional effect. It adds extra might based on the difference between the enemy's res and defense if res is higher, aka the perfect mage killer. And here, Gris has 38 res to his 23 defense, adding 15 damage to each strike, giving Citrinne just enough damage to destroy Gris's first health bar.
Poor thing.
Unfortunately, Citrinne being equipped with an axe means a nearby mage knight can break her to remove her weapon, letting the adjacent enemy warrior hit a 79 silver great axe attack. Holy hell, let this man on my team. The solution? Simply reset until it works. And maybe pop a few tonics this time. I reset until I get a Gris spawn further away from the killer combo, and now we can finally proceed through the map. Again, Citrinne cleans house as we head to the other side of the map to stop a thief from stealing this shit. Well, until I realize he ain't really got nothing I need, so I just proceed towards Gris. Gris in this fight uses Celica's skill Echo on the second engagement, letting him attack twice at half power. The stage class bonus actually buffs the damage to be a little bit more than half as well. But usually this just means any unit that can tank both attacks can just take out 2 health bars in a single turn. Gris also has Unholy Aura.
Dude, you smell like unfettered ass.
Which reflects any damage dealt that can't kill him. Unfortunately, we have a problem. At 13 HP, Citrinne is 2 damage off one-shotting Gris. I mean, considering that Gris has 48 HP and 38 res, being 2 damage off for 86 effective HP is still a pretty big accomplishment. But that doesn't solve the problem. Citrinne hits a crit the first time, but doesn't the second, forcing a strategy adjustment. I kill more units, including the Thief, and heal up. I chip Gris with a non-lethal forehand to reduce Citrinne's HP to 17. Citrinne then enemy phases 1 health bar, but then dies the next. I try damaging Citrinne again on the Halberdier, but then this puts her to 13 HP again. And even after popping a heal before Gris's attack, it's still fatal. I try a Dark Inferno, still die, and then I just try staying at full HP as much as I can, and lo and behold, Gris can't really stand up to Citrinne's res either, even with Unholy Aura, letting us finish chapter 20 in 13 turns. I decided it's a good time to clear some paralogs, so I've got a few, so I'll skim through them. Lyn was piss easy. Camilla Flight literally lets Citrinne reach Lyn in 2 turns, and she can one-shot her health bar with only 18 HP loss. Funnily enough, Lyn doesn't want to attack Citrinne. TBH, I wouldn't either. So it takes a few player phases, but we finish her in 5 turns. Ike was also easy. I just walked straight up to him, and because Ike's res is low, Citrinne just one-shots him. I can't player phase because of some chain guarding enemies, but Ike falls in only 4 turns. Bios map starts with taking a dragon shot to get Citrinne low enough to wreak havoc, taking out 4 people with Dark Inferno. Well, I do need to reset there because of the dragon, but Byleth is so scared that after Citrinne attacks, he runs away. Unfortunately for him, you can't outrun the railgun, finishing the map in 6 turns. I then attempt Corrin. My arrogance gained from 3 relatively difficult maps easily crushed. Corrin inflicts Draconic Hex and Dreadful Aura on attack, lowering all stats by 4 and more importantly, locking Citrinne in place. And with that, she cannot avoid Corrin's engage attack, which will easily kill her. I decide to put a hold on Corrin for the moment. Erica is next, an all-out attempt fails, so I play a little slower and load up on tonics. I engage Erica at 2 range to avoid the engage attack. I do have to kill a Wyvern quickly, and Citrinne manages to somehow dodge 3 45% in a row to live an enemy phase. I continue to enemy phase Erica. I can't kill her due to her high res and Citrinne having too much HP, but thankfully her 2 range option is a magic sword, so Citrinne shrugs it off, and eventually she reaches 1-shot range, letting her deal a finishing blow with a Dark Inferno next turn to finish the map in 9 turns. I then try Sigurd's map. I try normal strats, but the problem here is a Leer. The mages of this map actually have a solid 14% hit on her. I decide to rush forward across the river to kill Sigurd, but unfortunately I was 1 HP too high, which means I couldn't do that. I decide to then use Soren, expecting his healing to be of more use, and tonic up. I continue the same, but also bunker up next to a Leer to take out the mages. Slowly, I'd add. But after taking care of them, I move forward. I decide to attack the Julia and Ishtar stand-ins, partially brought Soren for that reason. I was prepared to engage, but then I realized that Citrinne is precisely at the threshold to one-shot them both, so I just let it happen. Lamau, not even the Fire Emblem equivalent of Satan, can stand up to the reprisal advantage combo. She easily clears the first area, but Sigurd can impale her easily with his engage, so I engage with Soren and heal off the fodder. I position Citrinne so she can't be overridden, and Citrinne then proceeds to murder every unit on the bridge. Wow, it's just like real FE4. But after 1 more turn, we get Sigurd's ass to finish the map in 23 turns. Should have used a Bogalin tone for the significance. Next is Micaiah, and Citrinne easily starts sweeping, and we engage Micaiah quickly. Micaiah being magical poses 0 threat, but here I face the first instance of Citrinne's mortality, and the weakness of Soren engage. Citrinne can one-shot, and Soren heals her, but because Soren only heals half of the damage, aka half of the enemy's max HP, Enemies that deal more damage than half their HP can eventually chip Citrinne's health down. And with only 43 HP, and Vantage only working at 75% HP, if the enemy deals more than 33 damage, Citrinne can be killed. And the Berserkers here hit hard. I then realize I'm dumb and I just don't need to engage Citrinne in the first place, so she just sweeps everything and we thematically hit the kill with a Soren engage. Soren Brand simply mogs Mackay's to finish the map in 7 turns. Next is Roy's. Expecting Marnie shenanigans, I equip Roy and literally just walk downward straight towards him. Unfortunately, I severely underestimate the medium mage as he deals enough damage to kill Citrinne. I rewind a bit and then manage to live while baiting out Roy. I then discover a problem. Holdout lets Roy kill easily. Unlike Marnie, Roy can double Citrinne, meaning I can't bait out attacks at 2 range because he still doubles. And I realize there are no 3 range enemies here, so the L-Fire is usable, preventing doubles but still allowing one-shots. I get a strategy going, but then Citrinne ends up as dying to fodder, as the Soren health thing I mentioned earlier rears its head. So I rewind and literally clear the entire map before returning. Unfortunately, I used too many rewinds before figuring out the strategy where to restart the entire map. This time I focus on clearing the entire map first. This time I reach Roy with no rewinds used, lure him out, and over the next few turns manage to whittle him down and finish him off with a Cataclysm to finish the map in 17 turns. No resets this time.
Out of my way. So be it.
Now, I need to reattempt Corrin, but I have a new strategy. I equip Veronica for the first time in a while and equip Roy's skill Holdout. This combination means that Citrinne cannot be killed by anything that has a siege weapon or an engage attack. I bait Camilla at 2 range and Citrinne stays safe. However, Corrin still inflicts debuffs even if she didn't attack. I try summoning a unit with Veronica, but Corrin still prefers Citrinne. But then I get an idea. I reset and equip the Rewarp Staff. Repeat like last time before realizing the damn Elise stand-in has a silent staff and hits Citrinne, despite the fact the hit is only 11%. God damn it. I reposition and then summon the Emblem Garcher and get Aelgard, and she does nothing as Corrin still tailgates me. I try again rolling a generic cavalry unit who actually just does his job, letting me finally get Elise in. But now finally we can handle Corrin. And after every combat I simply rewarp away. It costs 3 rewarps, but Citrinne easily melts Corrin now with no Dragon Fangs to worry about, to finish the chapter in 14 turns. With the paralogs done, I move on to chapter 21. Usually an extremely difficult chapter due to the enemy density encouraging fast play. I try to rush forward, but with no emblem, Briss can't damage Citrinne, so she heads to the leer. So I gotta stop that. Citrinne then clears out the entire arena apart from the boss area, which features a downright evil entrap user who will teleport a unit in range of Veil and a bunch of other units. Citrinne gets crushed by Veil's Lodestar Rush, so to avoid this, I use a Silent Staff. Thankfully, it hits, and I kill it the next phase. But unfortunately, I don't realize Citrinne that has literally so much res that Veil cannot damage her with a Thoron, so she doesn't initiate. I'm not sure what to do, so I try to clear out the reinforcements. It took me 4 turns to realize that the reinforcements are endless once you engage the final area. So I reset and try something different. I play the same until I reach Veil, in which I roll Emblem Veronica's Garcha and get Ike. He dies in 2 combats, but he gets Veil in Railgun range. So after the first few turns of kind of messing around, I bonk Veil with the Axe Staff that's actually a tome to finish chapter 21 in 18 turns.
It's not possible.
Chapter 22 is also difficult, but much more frustrating in my opinion. We've lost all of our emblems. Well, except all the DLC ones that are actually using them now. I reset once the bad strategy, and then start moving Citrinne forward while also hiding Alear and Veil. I take it slowly and make sure every reinforcement is gone before moving Alear and Veil forward. After that, I just continue the whole way through and beat the chapter in 23 turns. With the last emblem acquired, we also unlock the last emblem paralog, Marths. This paralog features many stupid strong enemies. Several normal units have revival stones, and here we also face the first misstep. I think the first one in the entire playthrough, where Citrinne misses an 86% and dies. Apart from that mishap, we do move through smoothly. We reach Marth and then come to a realization. Citrinne cannot tank a Lodestar Rush. The plan was to tank with Soren and heal off the other enemies, but that looks impossible. I then remember Soren's other utility, Bolting Snipes. Thus proceeds me running out of master range, trying to hit a 68% bolting until he dies. The infinite wyvern flight reinforcements are a blessing and a curse, as I can farm emblem energy off them, but they will kill me if I have bolting equipped. So I gotta clear them out before attacking Marth again. This process takes several minutes and several merry-go-rounds around the pillars, as we finish the final health bar of a Cataclysm to finish the map in 34 turns. And now we are finally at the last parallel. This one is essential! I need the ring here to marry Citrinne. Excluding a few mishaps, Citrinne cleans easily, but is actually starting to miss foreruns occasionally. I solved that here by placing her next to Alear for support bonuses, and funnily enough, Alear is a complete dodge tank, but units still attack here because they see the chain attack. But they also don't see Corrin's pair-up skill, which negates chain attacks. But finally, after clearing most of the enemies, we are left with a bunch of mage knights that can't hit Alear or damage Citrinne. But with Emblem Corrin and Emblem Camilla together, Citrinne can perform a Dark Inferno with a greater attack radius, letting her eliminate 5 mage knights in one turn. And after a few more turns sweeping up the leftovers, we finish this map in 16 turns.
Poor thing.
Before we continue, I want to show you Citrinne's pack conversation in full. I love it.
Here, Citrinne. Have a look at this.
Is that a dried flower? It looks familiar.
It's from the bouquet you gave me. I carefully dried each flower for use as a decoration.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm delighted to see how you've taken such good care of them.
I think of your kindness each time I look at them, Citrinne.
What a lovely thought. Thank you for sharing this with me.
I didn't call you over just to show you the flower. This time, I have a gift for you.
You do? For me? What might that be?
This. The pact ring.
What? But this is a historic piece of jewelry. I suspect it's worth more than all of my riches combined. Why would you give this to me?
Don't think of how much it's worth. I'm giving this to you as a token of our friendship. I want you to be my closest confidant, Citrinne. Are you willing to walk and fight by my side?
Oh my. Of course I am, Divine One. I will happily accept this gift.
I'm so glad to hear it.
You know, I love to give gifts, but I rarely receive them myself. You were right about sentimental value. A gift from the heart is a wonderful gift indeed.
Couldn't agree more.
Thank you, Divine Dragon. I must be the luckiest person in the world. When this war is over, we must attend a formal ball together. I know that's a long way off.
Why wait? We could just dance right here and now. Think of it as a formal-ish ball. Just for us.
I'd like that very much. What a gift exchange this is. You and I both offering to support one another. It's priceless. I'd like that very...
With all remaining fluff gone, it's now just the last few missions remaining. Chapter 23 is a map in an active volcano, which makes it really easy to get to 1 HP with all the lava around. So, honestly, Citrinne just walked through everything no problem. That was until I realized there was an El-Surge Mage Knight approaching Alear. El-Surge has perfect accuracy in exchange for only 1 range. If this Mage Knight reaches Alear, she's cooked. Well, not really. Alear could just always freeze it from 2 range with Corrin Lamau. And Citrinne easily kills Grit and Zephyr to end the map in 11 turns.
Are we done here?
Oh yeah. Mortal wounds. The really good ones. Can't say no to any of that.
We enter chapter 24 with the only timed mission in the game, at third last.
The mind of an Engage dev is an enigma.
The chapter proceeds, but a few funny things to mention. Almost all of Citrinne's stats are maxed, so she's only leveling like 1 stat at a time now, and the enemies are finally high enough level that Veronica's Engage boost is working again. Holy hell, these enemies are internal level 45, goddamn. Citrinne takes a death after getting ballisted, and again because there was another sniper to use the ballista after I killed the first one. But then I take an alternative route to fight past Alear, and I started by summoning an axe fighter to tank a low-star rush. And with no counterattack denial, past Alear just loses a health bar on enemy phase, and was able to finish her there to end in 8 turns.
It appears I've lost. Oh, no. Now Father will dispose of me.
On to chapter 25, the penultimate chapter. We face corrupted Lumera in a map filled with too many enemies to be fun, so I decide to warp skip it. Holy shit, that Armor Knight took 261 damage, Jesus Christ. We have to do a quick restart to buff res enough to avoid immediate death, but after repeating this strat, I easily one-shot Lumera 3 times to finish the map in 5 turns.
What have I... Time.
We are now finally at the end point, the final mission. One thing stands between Citrinne and complete domination of the game. We waste no time in entering. Sound off, Citrinne.
I suppose this is a time when riches aren't much help, but I shall pray with all my heart.
I'm using the Veronica Vantage holdout combo to maximize damage here, as I don't think I'm going to need any gimmicks here. We follow as usual. Holy shit, that Berserker took 273 damage. Thankfully, at 1 HP, Citrinne has exactly enough damage to one-shot the boss Sombron from full health. Not that working around that would be hard, bro deals 2 damage Lamau, but I've easily managed to clear the first half of the map. For the second half, I'm expecting difficulty. Okay, I gotta take out all the Dark Emblems. Oh god, those Griffin Knights have some dodge. Okay, I just gotta hold out. Oh my god, I did! I beat the game with only Citrinne! Where's the... No! Yeah, so it turns out I forgot to unpause the recording when I started the second phase, so I didn't have it. I have the proof of a clip of the 2 lovebirds using the lesbian beam, but alas, nothing else. Thankfully, if all the chapters lose recording, this is the best one, because you can actually replay the final mission of Engage as many times as you want. So, for real, we enter the second phase. I easily killed the Medea stand-in and managed to get the 1 HP at Julia stand-in. I keep Alear as close as I can to maximize support for extra hit. I do not want a Griffin Knight dodge. These mofos have a heckin' 50 speed, dog. I managed to take out the first 4 mini-bosses, and this is where most playthroughs end. You can easily dogpile Sombron at this point to kill in 1 turn. We cannot, unfortunately. So we are in for the long game. We need to take out all 12 mini-bosses. So, that we do. Citrinne does have to look out for some warding blow priests that she can't kill on enemy phase, but apart from that, there are no major problems. Just then, Citrinne reaches level 20, hitting an internal level of 63. I take a moment to look at Citrinne's final form. 49 HP, 11 build, 22 strength, 60 magic, 37 dex, 32 speed, 19 defense, 52 res, and 39 luck for a total rating of 272. And after checking that, we defeat the final mini-boss. We quickly sweep the remaining units, and now it's just Citrinne, Alear, and Sombron. And the strat for Sombron? Tea time minigame his ass. You see, Alear's equipped emblem Corrin has a skill that heals for 10 HP when you wait next to an adjacent unit. And this crucially allows holdout to activate again. And because Sombron doesn't double Citrinne, Citrinne can never die. We can't one-shot Sombron, but being effectively invincible means we don't need to. Alear keeps passing T to Citrinne to tank big fuck-off dragon attacks, and we do this until the final health bar, where I then use Alear's Emblem Engage on Citrinne, giving Citrinne this fine-ass color scheme. Now, I already showed off the power of the lesbian beam, so I will now show off another cool way for Citrinne to end this. The strongest dragon fist possible. And with that, Fire Emblem Engage has been beaten with only Citrinne. TBH, I did not even know this was possible coming in, but it turned out to be amazing. Citrinne blew me away. I used to consider her an A tier unit, but hopefully this video has convinced you she's easily S tier with DLC. I mean, look how many missions she beat in under less than 10 minutes. Surprisingly, Citrinne's most used emblem was Camilla, not Veronica. It does make sense, I suppose, I did use Camilla a lot. But finding an emblem I grabbed for just her completion's sake turned out to be most used. Hell, I even managed to beat this game in 20 hours instead of the usual 40. And now, I must say thank you for sticking through this video to the end. This will probably be a long one, but if I can be real, I don't expect this video to do that well. Most of my AC6 community won't bother with this, and a lot of the Fire Emblem fans won't watch any of my ACC stuff, so unless this vid does crazy well, I probably won't make another FE vid again. This video was just a love letter to Engage and my favourite character in it. However, if you think I'm entertaining enough that you'll watch other content from me, I'd love to have you here. But this doesn't mean there will be no more FE content at all. If so inclined, please give me a follow at twitch.tv/moltenamf. I plan to start playing Engage there on my Twitch.
I think I'll try to stream first on Fridays 8 AM Australian Western Standard Time from the 13th of Feb onwards.
Fire Emblem Friday. I'm going to do my RNG challenge, in which I let a randomizer pick the units, class, and emblems of every unit. And considering Engage's length, this will probably go for a few months, so you should be able to catch at least some of it, even if you're late to the party. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, give me a follow at Molten AMF on Twitch to watch me live, join the Discord to become part of the community and receive updates on scheduling and such, and if you want me to help quit my retail job and do this full time, please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/moltenamf. And now to thank those Patrons. Thank you so much to Kazing Too Late at Zehe tier, and Hura and SDRB Sama at Rusty tier. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye!